Hey guys, Frank here with Christ Over Crypto. Thank you for joining. Thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed, definitely subscribe to the channel. Like this video. What we're going to talk about today is something that, I recently watched a sermon by Pastor Michael Todd, Transformation Church in Tulsa, Oklahoma. He's an awesome pastor. He had a word on tithing, and one of the things about tithing when it comes to Christians or the church is people get very defensive about, hey, where does it say you need to tithe in the Bible? Do you need to tithe? Is it 10%? Is it less than 10%? What are the rules? And I think one of the things we miss here is why does God or Jesus in the Bible, why does they talk about tithing and giving so much? And I think if you think about obviously the hallmark of Christ Over Crypto, which is Matthew 6:24. No man can serve two masters. He will either be totally devoted to one and hate the other. And I think when you think about tithes and offerings, that is God's way of checking our heart and seeing where our heart is. But to go more into the point of Pastor Michael Todd's sermon, he takes a very famous scripture, Malachi 3:8, and it talks about how can a man rob God? And then the answer says in tithes and offerings. He had a revelation or a different spin on it that I really like, and I wanted to kind of expound upon here, which is if you add the words, how can a man rob God of an opportunity to bless him? That totally changes the narrative on tithing and why you do it and why you should do it. And before we get started in that, I'm not going down a prosperity gospel road. I'm not saying, hey, you should tithe to be, receive financial blessings. There's so many more blessings that you can receive other than, financial blessings from tithing. But I think when we understand the principles of, being in a kingdom and everything being God's anyway, giving the tithe back is just a way to honor him so that we're in right standing with him in his kingdom. So when you think about how can I rob God of an opportunity to bless me, think about by not honoring your king by giving back a tenth of what he has allowed you to have 90% of. So you don't really, if you understand that mindset, then you can see like how important it is to tithe and why it's such an important posture as Christians that we need to have, because without it, you really are, who is your master? Who are you serving? Are you serving money or you're serving God? Because if you truly believe that God is your source and your all, it shouldn't be a problem at all to give 10%, 20%, whatever you feel like he's calling you to do. And I think that's what we're missing. We're always trying to figure out, where the tithe is going and how, is it going to the right place? Is the pastor using it wrong? No, don't think about it like that. Just think about it as an opportunity that God can use to bless you by giving. Giving to, not just those in need, but just it's the obedience part of it. That is the most important thing. And I'm gonna, put that sermon, the link to that in the reference so you guys can kind of understand where I'm saying. But I think that more than anything, God doesn't need our money to do anything. He created the heavens and the earth without us. He's done all these things without man's money. And so to think that he needs something, we need him. We need his blessings in our lives. And I truly believe that through giving, being obedient, giving tithes and offerings, he gives us those blessings in our lives, in our finances, certainly, but in our health, in our marriages, in our businesses, in our relationships with people. I think all those things, we need to get out of the physical mindset of the world and realize that we are kingdom citizens that are in an earth suit and have a spirit inside of us. And so that the blessings that we're receiving, we have to think beyond just the physical. Oh, am I going to get my water bill paid, or is my child's daycare going to get paid? We're talking about spiritual blessings. We're talking about eternal blessings, rewards to be received, reaped in heaven. So these are things that we need to really aspire to Christ, step up. And I encourage you, if you're not tithing and you go to a local church, and I encourage you to start tithing there. And if you don't trust your local church, then maybe you should find another church that you trust so that you can tithe there. I really think that's an important thing. when you think about your maturation and your process and walking with Christ is tithing. So I want to encourage you, if you are tithing, just continue to tithe, continue to be generous, continue to find ways to give. And like I said, most importantly, if you're watching this and you're like, I don't even go to church, I don't know about tithing, it all sounds like a game to me, I also just encourage you to watch the video in the link that Pastor Michael Todd had, and I believe you'll be transformed just by hearing that message and getting a perspective on what it is tithing is, and what God can do for your life, and in your life as well. Because regardless of whether or not you believe in God, He is real, and He is the creator of all. So he blesses us all. Even if we don't acknowledge it, He blesses us all. So I want to leave you guys with that. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Christ over crypto.